Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Rockland Board of Sewer Commissioners meeting. Tonight is Monday, December 1st, 2025, and the time is now 6:32. I just want to mention at the beginning that this is a public meeting which is being recorded. The first item on the agenda, we will call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with all members present. The second item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes for October 27th, 2025.
Thank
Make
you.
a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
There's a motion made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. That's a vote. Next item on the agenda, we have an administrative update, including a proposed well water annual bill letter penalty fee. Robin?
So once a year, I send out a letter to all the people who have well water systems in the town, and they send me back a photo of their meter. And I compare it to last year, and I figure out their consumption, and I charge them for sewer. If they don't respond, we charge them $525. But last year, a gentleman pointed out to me that because he responded, he paid $850, where he could have just ignored it and paid $525. So the $525 is an outdated amount, and I wanted to ask if you would consider letting me ask for $800. It affects like 2 or 3 people that don't respond. But the other people that do respond are paying more than the $525.
Any questions? from the
Yeah,
board?
I do. I mean, realistically, is 800 even enough? And I'm not trying to be. I mean, do we make it a thought? I mean, we want people to respond and pay appropriately what they're supposed to pay. At the end of the day, that's what we want.
Right.
Yeah, I guess my question is, what is really like what's really like the baseline minimum? Is it around 800 or is it higher? Like I mean, like I know it
Right. The
probably fluctuates, but is
other people that
there a
are
minimum?
the other people that are affected, like how close are they in range?
Most, like I've got 554, 719, 1100, 730, and then I've got some, under the 525, and then I have an 819,
Okay.
a 755, so I thought the 800 would cover most, but like you pointed out, there is a gentleman that's 1143.
And this is for well water.
Right, and really, it's just it's an amount that we would charge if they don't respond with a picture of their meter, so I can charge them appropriately. And the amount is too low because some people are not responding, and the people that do respond are paying more than $535, and they're saying to me, well, why should I bother responding?
It's
Just
easier
charge
to
me
take
the
them to hit.
$535.
Correct.
Yeah.
My only other thought process with that is we gotta look at. We don't want to have to revisit this every single year either. We should make a decision that's going to affect the next 3 or 4 years, so we get a price high enough that we don't have to revisit this on a yearly basis. So that way we can look at I mean, I'm looking at 1,000 or 1,200. People should just respond and do the right thing. That's what we need.
How long has the penalty of
Since I've been here, 6 years. And it was a problem last year, so it was a problem within 5 years, so.
and just to be clear, we're talking about well water that is hooked up to houses and used for showers and flushing of toilets and things like that.
Right, they're using their
Okay.
own water instead of the town water, so I need the reading from their meter
Yeah.
to figure, it's only once a year, to figure out their consumption for the year.
Okay. How? Yeah, I know we have highs and lows. We do have figures that are like upwards of 1,100, but do we have a lot of kind of like net net fees in the in the $500 range that bring down that average, or
Well, it's not so much the average, that's the problem, because there's 17 accounts,
Yeah.
and there are 3 people that don't respond. So
Yeah,
14 people are
okay.
paying exactly what they owe,
okay.
and 3 people are just not responding.
And that's how much, 500 some?
The minimum was.
So we're charging them
Minimum of
535 for not responding, but,
And at the end of the day, it's not like it's a money-making scheme, we're not gonna give us $1,500 at the end of the year, if we go up to $1,000.
yeah,
I mean, just want getting
I mean,
people
it's
to
not to
respond.
make-
Yeah, we're
money,
just trying to
it's-
be
it's
made
to
whole.
get-
I
Correct.
mean,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, I'm willing for any price anybody wants, my personal thought was, I didn't wanna revisit this in a year or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, and also we want to have an incentive, so to speak, for people to work with us and to, cooperate with those, those offsets.
This has been 6 years now, right, you said?
Even when you vote on it, I'm gonna still have a problem with the people who never respond, because I don't have a baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like now we'll have to communicate to them the updated vote, go through a process.
Well, I have no
on that, too.
baseline to figure, if they give me
Oh,
a
yeah,
reading,
yeah.
I don't have a previous reading because they never respond.
How much has it increased since it started?
We'll
6 years
have a
ago?
fee, a
It has
penalty to
not
charge
at
them.
all.
No.
Remember that?
I mean, which is on the water side, they have estimated bills. Oh, yeah, and those are higher if they don't have an ability to get in and read a meter. Yeah, in some towns. And, having a higher estimated bill is also an incentive for compliance. Here in a very parallel way, we would be doing a very similar thing.
An estimated bill, agreed, on the high.
I mean,
And the higher third end.
conceptually,
Right.
yes.
And we're not even going to the extreme, we're going to the higher third end, we're not going above and beyond.
If you give me a reading this year and I use that as the baseline and
Mhm.
charge you the higher amount, we could abate it next year, the difference.
Yeah, and that again, is based on the fact that we do get information.
Right,
If we don't get information, then
Then you get that minimum pay.
yep.
yeah.
So yeah, based on based on this whole discussion, I'm thinking around $1,000.
That's why, that was why originally where my mind went to, just to make it a round number, not deal with it for a year or two anyway.
And keep in mind, these people could see that and then actually comply and give us, we could go out and do the meter reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that changes it, it could be lower.
Yep.
Or maybe.
No, exactly, at the end of the day, all I really want is, I like her idea as well, you get us a reading now, you get a reading then next year, if we have to go back and abate,
Yeah,
based on an average, I'm fine with that as well, again, we're not trying to scam the town out of,
Mm.
So I make a motion to increase that fee to $1,000.
I'll second that.
There's a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good, thank you, Robin. That was,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
hopefully we can help bring some folks into compliance here. So, okay, the fourth item on the agenda, we have a variety of abatement requests. I can see that we have a few of the addresses on the agenda we had on our last month's agenda, and have we invited anyone back?
I did,
Okay.
5 Peach Court got tabled, 55 got tabled.
Yep.
The next 2, I invited back, 8 Cornet Stetson and 240 Concord.
Okay.
They're not here. Sir, are you here for an abatement request?
I am, yes,
What
ma'am.
address?
7 Daniel Teague Drive.
Okay, great. Okay.
Whereabouts is the
That's the second to last on the agenda.
No, I think you
Or
meant-
under the header. Oh, Daniel Teague. That's in French's Crossing, right?
Correct, yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay. Do we want to take it? Do we want to take this gentleman out of order so he has an opportunity to present, and then we can go through the rest of them?
Well, he actually wouldn't be out of order because the other residents didn't show up and then he's the first one.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah, we don't have any requests in writing we don't have any requests in writing from these other property owners, correct?
Correct. I
And
have paperwork on them, but they're not here.
yeah, like I mean, like I'm just, I'm just generally thinking out loud that we gave these folks like an opportunity to come to present to us, and you're like, I frankly don't also think we should carry these all like items on each month's agenda till they show up or decide to show up. So either we can just ignore them because no one's here, or or we can take the request that we don't have anyone here for. We can consider them. We can vote on them, and I can call them a day just because I mean I don't want to be carrying these things in February, wondering and.
Do you mind if I make a suggestion?
Please, yeah, I'm opening this.
I have a file in there that I just put the paperwork in until I hear
Okay.
back from folks. So if I hear back from any of them, I can request to put them on the agenda for a meeting, and otherwise they'll just pend in that folder. That's what
Okay.
I typically do, but these people
Okay.
were going to show up, so
Okay.
that's how they got on it. But I can put them back in the rotating folder.
Yep.
I don't have to put them on the agenda unless they call in.
I have just one other question, do we notify them that they were not heard because they were not here?
We do.
Oh, okay, I
Okay,
didn't write
that's-
that.
yeah, no, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Because, I
that's-
mean,
Maybe we can just put in there that, unless we hear back from you, you'll not, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep,
if you
no, I
want-
tell them the date and the time of
Yeah.
the meeting and what they need to bring, and, sometimes people forget, or they don't have the paperwork yet, so they don't
Yeah,
show up.
we just find them, that's a perfect system in that.
okay, yeah, no, that's great, Robin, thank you. Okay, so, moving through, you say you have an abatement request for 7 Daniel T Drive?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
like if you wanna come up and,
Certainly.
just introduce, yourself, the issue.
Please.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I feel right at home.
And thanks for coming in.
Thank you. My name's Steve McGinnis. I own property at 70 Teague Drive. We lived there for 10 years. And I'm currently rented it out to a mom who has 3 teenage daughters. Basically, she's been there for about 4 years, 5 years, whatever the case is. Long story short, the faucet outside underneath the deck had been dripping since last spring or whatever. It's kind of in a secluded spot, and nobody was ever really able to get a hold of it. I did get a bill or a letter from Christina Frazzetti. It was dated July 10th, excuse me, just saying, that she was in the process of billing, and the consumption has gone up a little bit. So I went out and checked it out and stuff like that, didn't see anything, not at all. And basically, the second bill came along and the water was still dripping someplace also. I mean, as one bill is, I'll let you guys take a look, it's
So
phenomenal.
Christine is from the water department.
Okay,
Yep.
Clarify
thank
that.
you.
I did go to the water department, yes, yeah, I was
Okay.
there, and that's when I found out about the sewer department. I didn't know it was a 2-5 process.
Okay,
But basically, I have, my normal bill is usually like $350, $375, somewhere around there. And if you take a look there, it's in a couple of thousands.
Did you already look at them?
I did. Do you mind if I speak to that?
Sure, could I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Basically what we did, I did talk to them, and they did come out and put in a radio meter, but at the end of everything they did, after the end of the 2 quarters, they finally come out and put in a radio meter. I just feel as though if the radio meter was in place, that meter was originally from 1991, 20, 35 years old or whatever it is. And I just feel as though if the radio meters were put in place, it would have been caught a long time ago. I wouldn't be sitting there asking for this.
Right,
Did you
so
give
we
them
had,
a repair?
Yes, they did replace the meter, they did put in a water, radio meter, and they did do the repair on the faucet. It was the flat wash, the back and wash from the backside, which just crumbled up from age, I guess.
Yeah.
The house was built in, I believe, in the 90s, 91, obviously.
Yeah.
So it was the original washer, and it did drip. And like I say, it was underneath the deck, and it's just a really obsolete place. Right before I came here, I stopped to take a picture just to give you an idea of, what I'm up against. The faucet is up underneath the deck. You have to get down underneath to see it up underneath. And what I did was, there's the faucet just kind of tucked way
Oh,
up
yeah.
underneath. So you have to lay on your back to get at it to even see it. And like I said, it has been dripping for a little bit. Nothing went into the sewer. And like I say, normally my bill is $350, $375. And the other part is, the tenant is responsible for the utilities there, being the water and the sewer. It's just part of the lease agreement. And she can just barely pay the rent as it is. So for me to implement this on her, It's just really gonna put her in a, bad spot. I know they can't do anything with the water coming in, cause it's all metered, so I'm just here to ask for a little bit of help with the, storage part of the bill.
Okay, do you mind if I speak to that?
Please.
So when we had a conversation previously, he got the high usage letter from the water department. And it was 6 months they missed the first appointment, and it was 6 months before they actually came out and looked at the meter. And I think his feeling, that your feeling at that time was if they had come out
At least
when he
within
had,
6 months ahead of
they
time.
would have found it ahead of time.
Mhm.
So when I looked at the consumption for the 2 quarters, they usually range between 2,000 and 4,000 roughly. In those 2 quarters, the 6-month period, the consumption was up 10,250 and then 13,620 before they actually came out and discovered that.
And again, we did not process it.
No.
We did not process the water, no.
Like, and do we have any proof, like, at this point that the repair has been made?
I did it myself.
Okay.
I didn't say the flat wash or the banged up wash or anything,
Okay.
but
I did talk to the water department, they did send out the high usage letter twice, I believe, was it twice?
just
Once. So they did send out the high usage letter.
And that was back in July 10th.
And one of these invoices are through the end of October, I believe. So you had through October 14th. So you haven't yet had a subsequent invoice that shows any drop or decrease
I have not
or
seen,
anything on those
no,
ones.
but I have been making some payments just to kind of keep up with it.
Yep. Okay.
It hasn't gone down, but they show 0 because they changed the meter. But I did the math,
Yep.
and that would be the abatement amount for the first quarter, and that's the second quarter, and then the balance due is more in keeping with what the regular bill is.
Okay.
But we haven't seen it. We probably won't, because we won't for a while, because they just put the new meter in October. So
Yeah. So.
we'll know what the reading
In the
until,
next reading.
yeah.
Yeah. But if we base our decision on historical, we can clearly see that there's
A huge spike.
Yes.
like a big spike, which is logical to be attributed to this.
Correct.
So that brings based on the averages and the spike, if we were to approve abatement for both quarters, that would bring a total that would include an abatement for the most recent quarter of like of $1,200.91. And the abatement for the quarter before that would be $769.63.
So the total is $1,970.54.
And that would be the total abatement. Any thoughts, emotions?
I mean, yeah, again, this comes down to what I talked about before, we didn't process it, it's just a mechanical failure, I'm fine with it. I would make a motion, to abate the $1,970.50, that was?
1970.54.
54 cents, I apologize.
Hey, like, and just one other question. You don't have a pool. You don't have a pool on the property or anything else,
No pool,
correct?
no
I just
no
wanna-
irrigation,
Okay.
regular gray water consumption,
Okay.
that's all, that's it.
So, so the motion on the
I'll
floor.
second that.
The motion made seconded. All those in favor? All those.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, whatever that means, so how do I go about paying you guys now?
So I will do the abatement, and then I'll give you a call. 781-706-0732?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay, I'll put the abatement on there tomorrow, and then I'll give you a call.
sounds great, your name?
Robin,
Thank you,
we
Robin.
spoke on the phone previously,
Okay,
okay?
everyone looks the same on the other end of the phone, you know?
Don't
If
we?
And if you have any other phone calls from the town of Rockland, because this meeting's being recorded, feel free to just answer and say hello too.
I'll give you guys 5 stars, 2 thumbs up later.
Fair enough.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
very much.
Appreciate
Thank you,
Have a good night.
Yeah, you
So I'll
too.
wait to hear from you, thank you.
okay.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
And then I have one more that I can speak to.
Okay.
I think I can, let me check my notes. This one is for 6 Franklin Hunt Road. It was Michelle, she had a water leak. She had a high bill. The bathroom on the second floor, the cold water pipe was leaking into the basement. The plumber fixed the leak, used a wet vac and dumped the water outside, and then she had another company come in for remediation. Here's the bill. She did give me the bill. $281.50 for the repair, and then $1,850. So together, yeah, so she has two of them, over $2,000 she paid for that leak, and the water landed in her basement, and they wet backed it up and took it away. So it didn't go into the sewer.
What's the total with baby?
$280.73, which would bring her bill down to $298.12, which is typically what it normally is.
So at that point, we would entertain an abatement for $280.73.
I make a motion for the abatement for $280 and
73 cents.
73 cents.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
6 Franklin.
Thank you.
That's in Millbrook, I believe.
Oh,
And that's a vote on that. Next item on the agenda, superintendent update. Hi, Dave.
I actually don't have a lot, so we're getting caught up on a couple years of paperwork and everything else, so. So the first item would be the wastewater treatment plant. We have Veolia essentially like prioritizing, I know I talked about this at the last meeting. We're looking at other smaller upgrades or refurbishments that we can do throughout the plant just to try to keep up with the day-to-day and gain some more capacity. And, we have some old ball valves that just won't open or close, so we're going back and replacing that with sections of pipe. Again, using our engineering credits with Veolia, and then we're paying for those. Hence why we use we did the article on refurbishment, like at the wastewater treatment plants, which is essentially what we're going to do for this upcoming year too. Doing another article because we're going to burn through, that 100. Probably just keeping up with the day to day. Trying to think of what else. That's essentially, identify. We're doing work down in the lime room on the pumps, ball valves, the water skid area that I talked about before. So, and what else? We have. As far as DPC and our OPM and the right peer, so like I said, we have those meetings every Wednesday, and we have one in person a month. Wright Pierce is working through the final design right now. The pre-design submission, the 60%, is due January 14th, 2026. So it has to be submitted by February, that 60% design to DEP at that point for the SRF funding.
And that's based on the October 2025 application.
That is the resubmittal, which I'm
Okay.
gonna touch base on.
Okay.
So the last year's funding submittal
Yeah.
was pulled from DEP.
Yes. Okay.
So then, but we did another
yes.
intended use plan with,
Yep.
in July,
I'm sorry. My mom's.
July that just went by.
Yep.
We will not find out about that
Okay.
till probably January.
Okay.
We're hopeful on that.
Okay. Got
Because
it.
again, it's not ideal for us because we're doing our budget moving forward for fiscal 27 right now.
Yep.
So we're gonna be on a tight leash, so we're gonna overcompensate on our budget. We're planning on still using our bond funding, that the town, you're going back, that 12.5.
Yep.
And then that 22
Yep.
million. So we are trying to scope that where we know which bond we need to use first,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Because we have to figure out when we start paying on that, what our interest payments on that as well.
And can I just ask a quick question on
Yeah.
that? So that bond has been authorized, obviously, out by town meeting, but have we actually gone out yet? Or
No,
Okay,
No,
okay,
that's what we have to plan for.
okay.
So
And the
I don't
cash,
wanna,
okay.
well, I'll hop a little bit because the only other thing,
Sorry, I don't mean
no, because the two kinda coincide together because with the SRF funding and the plant design, so
to.
we can segue into the funding. So as the town representative, we've also, where we're getting into a more of a fiscal spot here, we've asked, at our last meeting, we approached Wright Pierce with the idea that we may split phase one into part A and part B.
Okay.
You know, just because of funding,
Yep.
because we have to look at it as the worst case scenario,
Mhm.
if we don't get the SRF funding
Yep.
in January or February, in that we have to do the funding based on the bonds.
Yep.
And then we'd have both those bonds, but both those bonds don't have to get activated until further down the road. You know, obviously, we're not gonna make those bonds live until we need them.
Yep.
You know, this is where we ran into before with the
Paying arbitrage. and
1.5, we were
everything
paying
else.
interest on the bond.
Yep.
We weren't using, we had to move some of the funding around when everybody came about, when the new administration came in,
Right.
and the board, and we moved that back over to ARPA and ARPA over to the funding
Yep.
to make it right at that point. That $1.5 million bond was active and
Yep.
done.
Okay.
And now we're on to ARPA right now on plant design with DPC and also with Wright Pierce, DPC being our OPM, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I had to look at it as, or we had to look at it on worst case scenario, what we need to do if we don't have that funding. Which we should have an idea on where we're gonna be. We have Wright Pierce and both DPC gonna, reach out to DEP.
Yep.
And see where we are on that funding list.
Okay.
We also obviously wanna reach out to some of our political
That's what I was
allies
just gonna ask.
moving
Okay.
forward
Yep.
with DEP, on to make sure that we're still on the top of that list. All being said,
Yep.
we were 5 on the list before. I don't see us falling out of the top 10 on that, because it's a project where we already have appropriated funding for
Right.
that. And the wheels in motion are already going, okay? But obviously fiscally, the state,
Yeah, I don't wanna take anything
In the
for
fun-
granted there either.
right, don't take anything for
Okay.
granted, so I'm looking at it as a worst case scenario,
Yeah.
and hopefully the best case scenario comes out.
So yeah, like I mean, like setting up like a meeting with setting up a meeting with like a saying, with that senator and state rep, you know, and having DPC involved in that. Oh yeah, would that be helpful at this point if we were?
I think it's gonna be more from the town side, like us.
Okay, that's
You
fine.
know,
Yep.
who are usually, I mean, I know you have a good rapport with Keenan.
Yep.
And then I could reach out to Coast.
Yep.
And hopefully we can get.
Yep.
You know, that in motion. It's
Okay.
also, it might make sense to reach out to Mariani too, because we're,
It all ties into
ties
base.
into a lot of things on the north side.
Who's gonna reach out to him?
Just
Maybe with between Keenan and DeCoste, maybe that would be a conversation.
yeah, like maybe I'm thinking out loud here, but reaching out or having some type of making making a whole connection for this to through New England development as well.
Mm-hmm.
It could be very helpful as well, you know, like even having a letter from them, you know, like I think like conveying to DEP their priority,
Right.
you know, their shared priority in getting this funding could be helpful too.
Mm-hmm. There's another part of that when we get into the
Okay, sorry.
Weston and Sampson too, because
Okay.
there was a grant that they helped us with, and we were able to get that.
Okay.
You see, so we'll be notified by Mass DEP, I would say, in the latter part of January on that. So on the funding matters. So as soon as we hear back, hopefully it will be before the next meeting,
Okay.
or you know, somewhere around then, depending on when you want to have the next one. The semi-annual report was submitted.
Mhm.
We were a couple weeks ahead of schedule on that.
Thank you.
I thought
Thank you,
it was, relatively plug and play
Mhm.
on this one. I think the May one will be a little bit more significant, cause there was some development done that was previously approved by the last board.
Mhm.
I mean, one being Dyer Street will be
Mm.
finishing up, and also the Holy Family School apartments, the senior housing, that will be finishing up, so you'll have a couple of those that will have to get added to the list, and then once we get through the budget season, I know I did talk to you guys about the ADU, we'll have a better handle on trying to present you with some more information on ADUs and what other towns are doing,
Yep.
because we are gonna start seeing a little bit of an influx on that.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I think we had one on Concord Street, which is an ADU, I know that it's at planning right now.
Okay.
But they're going septic,
Let
so
me
they're
see,
gonna totally supersede, which they can, because we technically don't have that capacity here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 4-bedroom plus a 2-bedroom
Mm.
ADU, so 6-bedroom, so which is over our,
Mhm.
you know what I mean,
Mhm.
so,
Well, who's
Hey.
doing that?
huh?
Who's doing that?
Somebody had, it's 0 Concord Street,
Oh,
so,
okay.
and it's just in the mix now.
Okay.
I just know that from planning. The gap for community energy grant, I know we touched base on that. So we did submit that was upwards of about 350,000. That would help us on the blower units at the mechanical room, as part of the plant upgrade. As part of that also, we have a good rapport with National Grid, Mike Skinner over at National Grid, so we're also working with them on where there might be some incentives for us with the electric side and the gas side, more on the electric side, on our plant upgrades, if there's more incentives that we could use through them,
Okay.
and then, you know,
Yeah.
how we could apply for those, so they're helping us out on that.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's good, and they'll help us if we have to do, you know, upgrade the electric or the gas lines coming into the plant, you know,
Yeah.
so, because obviously we wanna be as efficient as possible.
Mhm.
So that's talks we have going on as well, as part of that, that's what came about with the GAP 4 grant. Weston and Sampson update, so we've been working, obviously, you guys know, we've been working with Weston and Sampson. We have them, they're gonna revise our rate study, or actually come up with a new rate study moving forward. We thought it would be, for our discussion, we thought it would be a little bit more fiscally sound if we would go back to the rate study, because we have a lot on the books with the plant upgrades, and a lot has changed. You know, we kinda threw a number at it,
Mhm.
last year we need to be,
Mhm.
and we need to incorporate, you know, the plant upgrades, some field upgrades, and we need to have all that factored into, the
Thank
study
you.
moving
Agreed.
forward. So we just make sure we're at the right spot
Yep.
moving forward. I know we had a timeline on that from the previous rate study on where we were, but we wanna make
I
sure
agree.
We're gonna be ahead of that curve now.
we need to be, yeah, so we wanna make sure we're keeping at those current rates or down, and then where that drop off's gonna be.
Yep.
Where, you know, originally it was a 10% increase for 8 years, and then there was gonna be a drop off, but we wanna make sure, because it wasn't done properly the year before, and we made up for it with
Right,
that
because
13%.
after the 10% that tapered off,
Mhm.
they came back with a revised one in between. Wasn't actually a new rate study, but they did an update and
On
they
that.
increased the rates. And I think they went 11 that first year, and we didn't do it, we stayed at
Mhm.
10, so that's how we ended up at 13.
To try to make up for it.
I think
Mhm.
that's what triggered the whole conversation.
Right, so we just figured at this point, and it's not a lot of money to get a lot out of this, so we
It's
just.
our due diligence.
Yeah.
I mean, for the cash flow, for the project, for
Mhm.
everything else.
And they'll be
makes
looking
perfect
at
sense.
all our financials and make sure we're factoring that in. Look at where we were on the previous rate study and
Yeah.
where we need to be, so
Okay.
I think it's the right
It's a
move.
smart move.
Well, the
Yeah.
revised rate study, we can use that when we seek funding too, correct?
Correct.
It all makes perfect sense. Thank
They're
you.
also doing the, preparing the rehabilitation list for next spring,
Okay.
and the bid docs for that.
Okay.
And that's everything that's already been identified, so, you know, I was being a little overzealous, thinking we were gonna try to start it this summer, but there was no way, once we started delving into all the paperwork and everything else we had in front of us, and where we're starting to clear everything out, think we're starting to see daylight here again. And then, but then we're obviously with the rehab coming up in the spring, you know, that'll be a lot. You know, that'll be all next summer.
Yep.
They set the meters up on Concord Street. I know we had a conversation on that the last one.
Yep.
So those meters are set up. We're gonna just look forward so we can see what type of iron infiltration we have out there,
Okay.
which we're predicting there will be some, because that 30-inch trunk line that's
Cut
coming
into
into the
so
plant
many
has been cut into so many times. So we're looking to get that.
Okay.
So that will be, now will get added to the rehabilitation list, as well as Goddard Ave, which I know we talked about,
Yep.
and then some other issues. I've been, as far as my miscellaneous, the maintenance, I know you guys are aware we were doing the Wednesday evenings, so we have finished that up. So we did everything on Ledgewood, Reservoir, the entirety of Hingham Street, which was huge.
Yeah.
From Home Depot all the way down to Webster Street, tied into Webster Street. Once we got down past the old cut through, everything started cleaning up, but everything over towards Home Depot, there'll be some considerable, rehabilitation work on those manholes moving forward. They're, you know, literally falling apart, so, but we got all the debris out of there. When we did that, we identified, you know, some infiltration at the same time, and then we will have Weston and Sampson come in and identify that as true INI before we do the rehab,
Right.
so we can get those credits with the state. The only other thing is I've been doing all the inspections, 365 Concord Street, those are the small, single-family units over there.
Okay.
And then we've been doing the, I've been doing the inspections on the Holy Family School. So, I know we did have a talk on that before. That old sewer line used to run under the school. So when I was here 2 years ago, we had that, this was part of the discussion that we wanted to reroute that obviously away from the school, because it was all clay segmented pipe. And it was identified by AECom before we started using Weston and Sampson. So they have, that is all tied in now, the bypass is.
Okay.
So the school isn't tied in, but the true bypass from the Rectory and Holy Family School. So they did agree, the company, and they did completely install a brand new manhole where all that was tied in, so we're glad on that. So that will be, and it was, you know, new manhole, new rubber gaskets, new hydraulic cement, and it was coated inside and outside the structure. So moving forward, we should be in good shape. And then, you know, the only other thing is when they do their tie-in coming from the school,
Right.
which is, you know, obviously probably the end of next year anyways, before they tie that in.
Oh, wow.
We're collecting the bill on it.
Yeah, like are they tied into Union Street or to Delphi?
No, that
How
goes
is
to
that?
Delphi. So there's
Okay.
hardly any tie-ins on Union Street.
Okay.
So just so the board knows.
Okay.
There is some small sewer tie-ins, and that comes from essentially
Makes sense.
School Street
You
down.
don't have to dig up that street.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there isn't any anyways. There's no sewer on Union. So all the sewer is off of Union.
Side
all,
streets.
all the
Okay,
side
no
streets. You know. Yeah. It's a weird, but it makes sense because
It
it's all
absolutely
gravity.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's nothing from past, where is it? Past School Street. So you got School down to almost heading to Church,
Yep.
and that comes down to the West Water and all that, and then that heads down towards Howard and then
Yep.
out and across. But and then there's nothing past that. Everything's all on the side streets.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a weird dynamic. Yeah, one thing you learn.
Yeah, no, that's
So
it's a pretty good nugget
yeah.
for Monday night.
Yeah. And then as part of that, Weston and Sampson, they did, we can announce it finally, they were looking at, we did submit a catalyst grant. I think it was a few years, was it a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Robin, we were turned down on that. We've been working with Town Hall and Courtney and Allison, everybody up there, and yeah, it got resubmitted again. Weston Sampson did so we ended up getting it. So where we were gonna hire Weston and Sampson if we didn't get it, we have that money and it's upwards close to $800,000. So that is to look at alternate discharge areas for sewer
Okay.
on the north side of town, which we have been looking at for about 6 years.
Mhm.
So what it would do is it would take off, the idea is you would take off everything on Pond Street, Gardner Street, Upper Hingham Street, that whole area would have its own little station over there.
Yeah.
It would take off roughly 400,000 gallons off of this plant. So it wouldn't make it here. And keep in mind, that would also be dragging more gallons along the way because of I&I.
Mm.
Right.
You know, as it keeps coming and makes its way to the plant, because that's the furthest spot away
Right.
from
Mhm.
the
No,
plant. So you would have that. So we're also,
Where was the location?
it would be like around where the old cut through is, between there, Commerce was another area, over towards Union Point.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
If we did find it, and we have one idea, Union Point will be reaching out, trying to utilize that, tie in with us.
Utilize it or paying for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The builders over that area.
Yeah,
Because this would be a plant that would be separate from our upgrades here, but keep in mind, 300,000 gallons
Mhm.
offline
Mhm.
coming here. By the time it gets here, it's probably 500,000 to 750,000 as it's picking up speed and traveling down Hingham Street. So so if it ever came to another part of that it could be a discharge where it could discharge into close to the water plant and help recharge at the same time.
okay.
So towns and cities do that. It's a conversation we still have to have with water and their board.
Right.
You know, if that's even, but they're looking at every dynamic.
Yep. No,
You know?
that's.
Yeah. So
Yeah, leave no stone unturned.
No, no.
Why not?
yeah,
I feel like, I mean, like along the same lines, like I think, you know, to all these help points, like it would be helpful, like if we can like coordinate like with the town hall as well to set something up with our delegation, like even if it's just a Zoom, you know, to like show that the town, you know, together with maybe like New England and development, we're serious about, you know, prioritizing all this, you know, like we're looking creatively to do it. Yeah, but I mean, like a lot is hinging on the, like in getting back onto the IUP and having them, and having their help and, you know, whatever they could,
yeah,
are able to do to help that.
yeah. I think as much help as we possibly could get
Okay.
moving forward for that funding. And then once this, I mean, obviously this is a year away
Right.
at least. You know, I mean, we just the announcements came through. And then, you know, moving forward, Weston and Sampson will be looking at those alternate discharge. I don't think regionalization is an option for us, cause that's been kicked around the can for a while as far as, you know, getting it from Brockton or getting it from MWRA, and it's not economically feasible by the time you look at that. And then, so if you look at another plant, that might be more economically feasible if there's capacity at that plant for future development.
Yeah, like
They're
you
paying for it.
yeah, you even have some type of like district improvement financing specifically for the Union Point portion.
Yeah, not even just Union Point, you got Commerce.
Oh yeah, no,
And that whole
that
corridor,
whole
there's
area
not-
can be
yeah.
its own
yeah,
own district, and they basically would have like a betterment to be able to.
yeah. But I mean, they
Do
figured
it.
it out, it's close to 300,000 gallons up in that area that would be not coming to the plant. So that helps us here.
Like I said, it's more like $500,000
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
By the time it gets here, yeah.
Right.
If you think you guys are getting it, like what it does, it's just picking up speed, getting water, groundwater, and it's all coming.
Right.
And it's just picking up more. So
No,
by
no,
the time it gets there, it
Right.
could be more than that on a system. You know what I mean? So that's a lot, and that's the big commercial zone over there.
Sure.
So you have a lot over
And that's where the possibility for new growth,
there.
for everything to be,
Yeah.
for our town to be sustainable.
Yeah, that's exciting to get that
Be
grant.
interesting to see where they discharge to though.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I bet-
it could be fruitful. You know what I mean? We might get anything, but I mean, at least it's something to look at.
No, I
And we
agree.
have to do it.
Yeah.
So
we,
it's
we,
part
well,
of the.
we don't have many options. We have to
No.
do something.
We have to show that to the EPA. Our
Right.
regulatory bodies are looking for us for more.
How do we get more capacity? How do we figure it out? How do we?
Yeah, and we did put that catalyst grant in with our last submittal, but at some point we will be sitting down with the EPA and having talks. Why aren't we looking more into it? We are. This is
Okay.
gonna help us out tremendously that the town, you know, was able to get that grant.
That's huge.
So,
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
big.
No, that is big.
It gets us going in the right way, so.
Yeah, yeah, like, oh yeah, can I keep everyone posted if we need to set up another meeting, you know, to talk with John King, David Coates? I think it just, you know, to also show the credibility that this, you know, that our team now has, and we have with working together with Town Hall as well. Like, I think is a really, like, good message as well to show we're united in all this
Right.
after, like a long time having, you know, there being some tension, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's it for the day-to-day maintenance and, kind of the day-to-day operations, so. But like I said, I mean, the only other big thing we're doing is we're working with Green Environmental on, the final on that, tank removal out there where we have to redo it. For the submittals for the DEP, which we've talked about in the past. And that will, I think that kinda cleans us up until we have talks with, EPA on the alternate discharge, because they're looking, when we did that last submittal, they were looking for a little bit more out of us, so.
Well, yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, it should go without saying, but like, I think, like, it needs to be said, thank you, David Robin, for,
No, I gotta tell you, I couldn't do
for
it without
everything,
Robin,
like,
so.
you
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, you
cleaning
know,
everything up, getting everything
Agreed.
right up to speed is,
she keeps me
That's
from banging
incredible.
my head against the wall sometimes.
thank you.
If you not, I want a video.
Sometimes
I
she
thought a
wants to
video.
watch
All I
that.
want is a video. That's all.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, in just, like, in just as a segue, like, planning for, like, planning for our next meeting, like, if we could, have an agenda item, for FY27 budget planning, just, you know, to really, like, as a board to talk about, you know, what, like, what, based on everything we talked about, really, like, needs to be considered either in an operational or capital budget, you know, like, would be helpful. Like, also, too, is are there any, changes, like, we wanna make operationally in terms of the, structure here to begin that discussion in January,
Agreed.
I think would be really helpful, so we don't, you know, so we take advantage of the opportunity that the annual budget process.
And that's for
brings us to-
fiscal year 27,
Yes,
right? Okay.
Our preliminary, just so you know, our preliminary budgets are due Friday.
okay,
So
great,
not a lot budgetary wise on
Yeah,
us.
but-
Are we changing from fiscally besides contractual with
Yep.
the union contracts and, but essentially we're gonna go with what, cause I think it's working from what we're doing, like with the plant upgrades and
yeah,
all
no,
that.
no, just
keep
if
those
we
line by them. Yeah,
have any opportunity to restructure, like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, restructure current expenses,
yeah,
you know, obviously, like, that has ability to evolve through the process as well.
yeah.
But,
And I think it has too, because a lot of the, even like, some of they weren't, wouldn't call them little items, but
Yeah.
like even legal, remember we went from what, 20 to 5?
Yeah,
And we haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
we haven't used it,
Yeah, so.
you know, to submit the report, that's
Right.
it, $75.
Right,
Yep.
you know, we did do that a lot, I didn't even have that, but it's kind of the maintenance thing, but that large drainage project at 313 East Water, that finally blew out. So
Okay.
we did end up going through, Concom and DEP on an emergency status for that, and it's all fixed, so that was a 5-foot pipe coming out to the head wall before it got there, and it completely collapsed. So we were able to fix that. And you know, sometimes the emergencies are good because
yeah,
it just got done.
yep,
Right.
And we
Yep.
had the support of both Concom and DEP, and saved us a ton of money being able to do it like that.
Yep.
So, and it was done. And then as we were doing that, we found another one further up by the manhole, so we were able to repair that at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's a grant we have going.
Okay.
So that's a grant
Yep.
that's coming.
Yep.
It's gonna be excessive because again, that's an open drainage.
What's the name of that grant?
That's actually, we're doing that grant through the North and South River Watershed Association. And it's a priority 1 right now.
that's great.
So it was good. We went to a funding meeting over in, Hanover for that.
Great.
Yeah, it was nice and close.
That's nice.
So,
Thank you, Dave.
So I think that's, think of anything else, Ron?
I missed an opportunity to tell you that we were doing the liens this week. So everyone previously got a letter saying what their outstanding amount was. They had plenty of time to make payments. Some people didn't or couldn't for whatever reason, and those will be over to the assessor's office by the end of the week. So she can put them on accounts.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions, Walter, any of that?
No.
The next item on the agenda is a superintendent hiring status update.
So we're
Matt?
we're kind of on a holding pattern. We've had some really good candidates. The problem is the uniqueness of this position. This position is not only project manager, supervisor, but also field work as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a really hard time finding somebody that meets all of those qualifications, especially with the amount of big projects coming up. So I know we currently still have the ad out there.
Mhm.
Work with Laurie as far as what we can do. I know we talked a little bit about, again, talking about fiscal year 27, maybe looking at different avenues, restructuring the job if we have to, trying to figure out how to make things work. I mean, so again, we're still kind of in a holding pattern. I think we're hoping that candidate does come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but based on where we are now, like all the candidates who have been entertained and or screened, like at this point, is it safe to say that anyone who has applied so far doesn't meet the qualifications and the criteria
Correct.
of which we're looking
Yeah,
for?
correct.
Okay.
And again, there was some really good candidates. I don't want to slight them by any stretch of any imagination.
No, we're looking for
We're looking
a-
looking for a unicorn. It's a little.
yeah. So, okay, and yeah, like I mean, like just for my own work, I know that the market, this is a niche market to begin with, and it's just it's just hard right now, and
There's not many people.
like our
with
salary is
all
pretty
those
competitive.
Agreed. There's just not a lot of people out there with the qualifications that are required.
So, if anyone's watching who is interested or knows of anyone,
We're
I
trying
mean-
everything, man.
like it's like we're like shouting it from the rooftops. I've posted it on my own LinkedIn. We've advertised Laurie at Town Hall, has advertised, with the MMA. I think with the New England Waterworks Association as well. We have a great team, great group here. We have exciting projects happening, but we're really looking for like a unicorn here.
Again, because of the
And-
big projects we have going on, it's hard. It's not
Yep.
just the day.
What about as far as salaries? Who's going to decide on that?
We
It's our
actually
board.
we actually did and we approved, I believe, up to
Yeah, like up to 140,000.
Right.
I think the range, last updated range that the board approved was a range from 110 to 140, I believe.
Correct.
That's a very, on the higher end, that's, in my view, a very competitive range.
It's hard to find the right. There's not a lot of candidates out there right now. And some of the ones that are great. There's a lot of supervisory experience.
And
no
as
field
far as
work.
his,
Field work and no supervisory experience. Nobody met both criteria really.
with all the construction that's going to be going on here and everything, with the plant, is he going to be involved
Yes.
in that also?
Ideally, yes. So whoever the person is, again, to Matt's point, ideally would have procurement experience with Chapter 149, which is the procurement for, the building and grounds and everything else, which is huge. And that's a whole, area like unto itself right there. And, and that's why, again, we're really looking for like a unicorn, someone who can come and deal with a building project, who can come and I can work with and maintain relationships with DEP, the EPA, all the processes we have ongoing there. Someone who can be a team player, with town hall and be, like a real partner with them as well. And yeah, like I'm like honest, the saving grace, and I'm like not gushing here, but like a saving grace here over the last year has been Dave.
Agreed.
I mean, if it wasn't for Dave jumping back in for the
5 years.
third time now,
6 years.
6 years.
but like I mean. Yeah, like I can't even. I mean, like with Robin, like I can't even begin to fathom where we'd be in, or frankly, where we wouldn't be right now. So, thank God.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, like we have a job posted. I have personally, conveyed a concern, to our town hall, that. Where we are in the hiring process, isn't ideal. And I think the hiring challenge that we have and that we faced over the last year has again, it's really been masked by the fact that we have someone as an interim superintendent who the transition where we are has been seamless. And to the point that no one really knows how much of a challenge it's been, because everything's been handled by Robin and Dave, and
Agreed.
Great job.
it's remarkable. So
That's all.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate
That's my update.
thanks, Matt.
Future meetings.
So, we're at December 3rd. No, December 1st. My
Yeah.
God, I don't even know what day it is.
What day is the first Monday in,
January 5th. And practically speaking, I don't actually think we can go to the end of January without a meeting. It deviates
No, agreed.
from where we are, or where we were with the last Monday of the month. But that's almost 2 months without
I
having
agree.
a meeting with all these things.
I have plenty of flexibility.
How about
we end up at the beginning of the month. I
Yeah.
can
Right,
set up
yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah, because of Thanksgiving and that whole week last
Mhm.
week, and practically speaking, like for me, a January 5th would be probably a crazy night to try to get out, because that's the first day back from school vacation. So I'm trying to just anticipate my house that night is just gonna be mayhem.
Second week in January? Third week?
Fifth.
No, January 5th.
No, okay.
Do you wanna
Fifth.
tell
Yeah,
like
no.
the
You
just
middle
don't
of
wanna do the
January, and then
first
we
week.
can get back on track?
How about,
Yeah.
how about January
I do
12th?
2 in January.
Yeah.
No, agreed.
January 12th?
Yeah, how about if we do January 12th and 26th?
No problem with
Is that okay?
Fine.
January 12th and January 26th?
Yes, and January 26th would be the last Monday in
that.
January.
Then we get back on the cycle.
Yeah.
And then we should,
that okay?
budgetary wise, we'll have a good grasp on
Right.
that, and then
Okay.
funding and,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, the mid-January one, I don't see it being a long meeting,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
but
That way we
makes
have
sense to have it.
That way we have that mid-January one. We have a lot of things off the docket, so that
Yeah.
we have the one
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
Just get right to business.
And we'll still have time for capital planning stuff in January.
Yeah, and then hopefully we know fiscally, where we need to be. Maybe we'll hear by then from the DEP on the
Right.
funding.
And try to I'll reach out to the town administrator tomorrow, and I'll coordinate. And trying to get something set up with all legislators as well,
Yeah,
and I'll keep everyone posted on that.
Perfect.
Okay.
yeah, 'cause Wednesday we're gonna DPC and write right, Pierce, at our meeting, we will have discussions on where we think we should be,
Okay.
moving forward. 60%, like I said, by January,
Okay.
which is in a good spot.
Yeah.
They don't see any issues of us meeting the deadline in June.
Great.
So, for that design. So,
And we don't have to go back to town meeting, we already have the authorization, right?
that's correct.
So, okay. Any other business, thoughts, questions,
No?
concerns? With that, the time is now 7:32, I
Make a
entertain
motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion made, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
It's a meeting. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.